Hello everyone, Meghan is out of control, and Harry knows it. It seems that Meghan is going crazy and doing everything with a flat brain. But the person who has the potential to stop Meghan, Harry, seems indifferent. This is also difficult to say, because there are too many reasons. And the closest reason is that Harry is used to being under Meghan's control. That means he will be like a puppet doing everything Meghan asks, without complaining. Everything she does is automatically right in his mind. As we all know, Harry is very weak combined with a low IQ, so of course his previous and current actions are understandable. In the world of Meghan Markle, he asked her not to do it, and of course, she simply ignored it and continued on with her life. This is something that happened with everything that some people recommend. However, what was the major drama that occurred behind the scenes of this most recent dual interview, which was the first one in a very long time, to a story that may not live on? Of course, that is the partnership one might suggest. Of course, Harry and Meghan, who recently popped up once again over on CBS, offering their pearls of wisdom about how you should parent your child regarding social media, with no real background, no expert on hand, and, of course, some people might say exploiting another brand new avenue. Nevertheless, you have to comprehend, and this is the aspect of this that I do take very seriously. Prince Harry is aware of how these things function, particularly with regard to significant occasions, such as that, the audience is going to scrutinize him, and he is aware of this fact. It is all about gestures, the way you sit, the way you empathize, the way you use your eyes, and all of that kind of thing. His lengthy schooling in the royal family, as well as the fact that he was fortunate enough to receive expert instruction from the Duke of Edinburgh and our late monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, have provided him with the knowledge necessary to comprehend this. There was, of course, something that Meghan Markle could not be bothered, or in fact, did not want to pull anything from. The interview is where things start to become pretty fascinating, because you will note that Meghan, once again, wanted to focus on her. This is where things start to get really intriguing. The most important location was unquestionably in her face. There is no way around it. The objective was to ensure that it brought out the whiteness and the brownness of her eyes, as well as other aspects of her appearance. In general, Harry was well lit, but not as well lit as Meghan, and I would want to point that out to you. I am aware of all the camera trickery that they do. And another important thing to take into consideration is that the person doing the interview, Jane Pauley, basically pointed out that, hey look, you're reaching out for him while you're talking this alleged topic that was never agreed upon in advance. So keep that in mind. Now, this is where things started to get interesting behind the scenes, because according to that reliable source, Harry was really enraged because he believed that this compromised the matter that was being discussed. They weren't there to play the role of a lovey-dovey, devoted couple who were supporting each other, and that's the reason why Harry did not respond in any manner. In point of fact, he was especially unfriendly toward his wife. According to one source, the tension in the room was palpable to everybody who entered in. However, if you were to look at it from his perspective, you would see that he shouldn't be concerned about them. I really want to know if you are happy that Harry and Meghan are divorced. If anyone agrees, please comment number 1. And if anyone disagrees, please comment number 2. Actually, in my opinion, both cases are not good for society. If they continue to be together, they will still have plans to compete for attention, try to overthrow Catherine, use charity to make money, etc. But if they break up, they will continue to look for prey, so poor prey, and many, many other conspiracies. So I am waiting for your choice and an explanation of why you made that choice. Once more, Meghan made the decision to include herself in the narrative of their love story. Currently, according to that source, it was something that they debated at great length about what they ought to do and how they ought to present this particular narrative. Nevertheless, Meghan, like she always does, desired to bring it back to her. And when you think about it, is parenting thing that they've come up with really the headlines? And Harry is aware of this. He is not very happy about it. It is not relevant to that. It has nothing to do with the inducement that they have done. Meghan Markle has once again, and some people could say that she has done it very successfully, moved the focus back to herself and her alleged suicidal thoughts. These are the thoughts that she was unable to receive any help for, despite the fact that she had a large team working inside the royal palaces, and that Harry also had therapists. This is the reason why this has been a complete and utter failure. Harry, on the other hand, was completely fuming behind the scenes. The story is still unfolding, as it always has been. Dear Harry, these are the consequences of your own actions. I hope it was all worth it. You grew up with a loving family all your life. You dumped and trashed them for someone you barely knew. A mediocre actress? This is what happens when you don't listen to the people who actually loved and protected you all your life. You threw it all away and fell for a mediocre actress with zero self-respect and morals and no family values. She definitely has no respect for you or your family. Maybe you should have taken your grandfather's advice when he told you, one steps out with actresses, one doesn't marry them. Can't help but wonder if they will be among California's homeless in the next 10 years. I very much doubt that will happen. Just as it looks bad for moneyed-up Meghan not to be looking after her father, so too, it would look bad for the British royal family if they allowed the children to become homeless. The British royal family is more likely to buy them a house and give them an allowance on the proviso the couple doesn't speak to any press, similar to what happened with the Windsors. But if the British royal family did that, no one would blame them. Harry should get his comeuppance. The more he suffers, the more we feel happy. It's almost like me again. Is his karma coming back on him for the way he has treated his family? She's definitely on the edge, and the stench of sheer desperation fills the air. She has lost her royal gig. It's over. What's more, there's not much more mileage left, because no one will buy any books of fiction she may put out. Even Harry has sussed her out. But what could Harry do? Harry was scared. Baseless threat from tantrum-throwing brats who couldn't get her way 4 or so years ago. Showing off her immaturity, she didn't even show sympathy to the parents. It's always about her, and she feels her sorrow is worse than anyone who has lost a child. Meghan might not be wearing Diana's jewelry, but she's wearing all our patience to the limit. The audacity of Harry and Meghan lecturing people on bullying, when Harry and Meghan put the bull in bullying, and in bullshit. Exactly. They're two of the biggest bullies out there. Neither one of them condemned the vile, disgusting attacks by the sewer squad against the royal family, and in particular, against the children of the Prince and Princess of Wales, or the absolute vile things said about the Princess of Wales while she's been battling cancer. They're both utterly revolting humans. Clearly, the mask has slipped, and Meghan's true nastiness is showing. She's still very condescending to Harry, but at least he wasn't as friendly to her. I appreciate your candor, Neil, telling us chums the truth. No love story here. Meghan is a perfect example of how the wrong person can ruin your life. Harry is just as bad. She didn't want to hurt herself, and that is a bunch of bollocks. I can't imagine a couple less qualified to spearhead a program to help parents of at-risk children. Neither one has any training, licensure, or experience with the subject. Would you think it was a good idea to take parenting advice from a bullying narcissist and an avowed drug addict? This is so annoying. Moreover, she insists it always is about her. She manages to turn any topic back on herself. Seriously, the arrogance and desperation drips off. The disdain she showed when Harry dared open his mouth, or when Jane poorly interrupted her. Imagine if he'd married a nice country girl. He'd live in the country in England with a wife and kids, happily part of the royal fold. That would never have worked with such a greedy, toxic attention seeker. What a shame. It must be hard to see someone you thought you respected lower himself to her level and meet his perfect match. That's because they belong together. They deserve each other and no one else. They share so many values together. Jealousy, greed, no morals. Foul mouths, no loyalty, no credibility, no honor. Yes, they belong together. Sad that our dear chums across the pond have been let down. disappointed, and betrayed by Harry, who had your complete support, until one of our worst citizens married him. I think it's wonderful that y'all have a wonderful today and future. But the Prince and Princess of Wales, their children, and all of the royal family, continued prayers for Princess Catherine and King Charles as they continue their cancer recovery. To be honest, I could tell Henry was not happy during this interview, and he had every right to be. He realized that she was using those parents. It's never too late to do the right thing. Harry, walk away and apologize to your family and country. Apologize to the wife's father and siblings, and then start living a quiet life of service. You could see it in his face. He normally looks distant, but this time, he looked disgusted, and holding back anger with his narcissistic wife, as she once again made it about her. It was pointed out Meghan copied Princess Catherine's exact hairstyle when she appeared to talk about her cancer. Meghan is always copying someone and failing badly. It's really sad she is using real-life grief to get attention from people. The experience of the parents is not in any way comparable to her experience, yet she made a mockery of their grief. How pathetic can she get? It's such a bad look. In short, what gets me is the complete lack of common sense on their part. Half the world is in turmoil. There is no time for the pathetic attention-seeking of that pair. They can't even read the room well enough to know there are more immediate issues right now. These issues are in no way, shape, or form qualified to comment on. So what do? Drag out old stuff that used to get them attention, but they've beat into the ground. Her problems are over 6 years old now. Everyone knows about them. No one cares anymore. No one cares about them, and they just can't stand it. They'll do or say anything to be relevant, but they aren't the news of the moment anymore. And I suspect never will be again. The world has moved on. They haven't, 'cause they have nothing left to give. Well, thank you for watching our video. How do you feel about this issue? Please comment below to share with me and everyone. Especially please support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Wish everyone always happy and full of life. Now goodbye and see you